Hi Virgo, Sun, Moon, Ascendant, or Venus. This is Dane, and I'm going to be doing your June 16th to the 30th, 2021 reading for you. Now, I ask if this reading resonates with you, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And if you're interested in any of the cards that I'm using, they will all be listed and linked in the description box below. Now, before we begin this reading, let us clear the energy space, raising our own energy vibration and releasing any negativity. So take a nice deep breath in, exhaling whenever it feels comfortable for you. Releasing all negativity from the body like storm clouds. Letting yourself feel calm, centered, and at peace as we enter into this safe and loving space. Let's let the bowl sing as we see what the tarot has to say. Virgo, June 16th to the 30th, 2021, Virgo. June 16th to the 30th, 2021, Virgo. Angels and spirit guides show me clearly. Ooh, okay. There we go. Virgo, June 16th to the 30th, 2021, Virgo. June 16th to the 30th, 2021, Virgo. Angels and spirit guides show me clearly. Guide this reading. Virgo, June 16th to the 30th, 2021, Virgo. June 16th to the 30th, 2021, Virgo. Angels and spirit guides show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. Virgo, June 16th to the 30th, 2021, Virgo. June 16th to the 30th, 2021, Virgo. Angels and spirit guides show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. Fantastic. Okay. Now the bottom is our rooted self. The left-hand side is our inner self. The middle, our heart, our emotional self. The right-hand side, the public arena, the public self. So let's see what the cards have to say. We start with the Strength card, which is Leo energy. Time frame July 23rd to August 22nd. If we're born on the cusp with Leo, this is going to be the part of our personality that's coming out very strongly, or if we have Leo within our chart. Then we have the World, the Hermit, my goodness, which is us. Right here is Virgo energy, so we're coming through right here. And then it's Judgment. And why I said my goodness is because your root is all major arcana cards. 4 major arcana cards. Okay, this is going to be a heavy hitting time. Nothing is going to be held back. Nothing wants to be held back. It has you kind of almost dead in the center, right? So there is a sense of you rising out of a box, a way of being, through strength and through the world opening to you. And it can be that a Leo has opened the world to you and you've come into your own. Now that can very well be the case. Then we have the 8 of Cups, and we have the Strength card coming through once again. Again, Leo energy. It also is calling upon a lot of courage for this time. There's a sense of having a lot of courage, and it can be feeling astoundingly overwhelmed. It's like, how do I move forward this way? Like, where do I want to be? This could have been the dream. This could have been what we have always dreamt of, but now that it's become reality, it's overwhelming, and it might not be what we want. So just be mindful of that here, too. Then in our heart, we have the 6 of Wands, And we have the Two of Pentacles. Yeah, that's exactly it. We're moving forward in success, in victory. We've gotten what we wanted, but now we have to balance it. Now we have to find the harmony within it. And we have to find the harmony within ourselves, which can be a little harder than we've imagined, Virgo. Oh, goodness. Then we have the High Priestess. And we have the Chariot, which is Cancer energy, time frame June 21st to July 22nd. A Cancer can be holding a huge amount of information for us, a sense of seeing things a lot more deeply than we ourselves are seeing things, because right now we're in the thick of it. We have the Strength card coming up twice from just the rooted energy. We're in the thick of something that's world changing for us, that opens up the door, that leads us forward, that guides us to a celebration, but also for a need to realign ourselves or to align ourselves, maybe even for the first time, and say, I'm juggling my eternity. What do I want? What do I need? What is it that calls to me, my soul, myself? And what do I desire, instead of what this person is demanding of me and what this person is demanding of me? Some of us are actually having a bit of a hard time with the Leo energy, who is very demanding. They're very demanding, and it can't even be with the Eight of Cups in our inner selves. It's like, did I make a mistake? Like, am I supposed to walk away from this person? Am I supposed to, walk away from the situation that is calling so much strength and so much time and so much effort from me? So that could be something that we're balancing, and we need to balance, and that we're struggling with right now. So do be mindful of that during this time. Now let's see our chakra energy, because I'm really interested to see what the chakras have to say. Virgo, June 16th to 30th, 2021, Virgo. June 16th to 30th, 2021, Virgo. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Forgiveness. Ooh, the heart chakra. Forgiveness. This makes perfect sense with everything that we're seeing here. The heart chakra comes up. And when forgiveness comes up, it's not talking about simply forgiving other people, which is magnanimous. When you forgive another person, you can feel like, oh, I took the high road. I forgave you, right? But when you forgive yourself for being conned by that person, for being in a bad situation, for the hurt, for the pain, for the disappointment, for the anger, for the upset, for the not being able to love the way somebody needed you to love, or the way that you wanted to be able to love, this becomes something very powerful. The heart to just forgive ourselves. Maybe we were born with disabilities. Maybe we were born, different in some way or another. And being able to forgive ourselves for not fitting in the way that our child self really wanted to, or our teenage self really wanted to. There's a magnitude of ways that we need to forgive, or that we are always called to forgive within our lives. And it's not about the other person. That's fine. People say, oh, break bread with them. No, you never have to see them again. Forgive them by saying, you don't get to have control over my life anymore. I forgive you because you're an ass. That type of thing. And just move on from them. Like, turn your back and keep on going. But when we forgive ourselves, that's when the power starts. That's when the healing starts. To say, I didn't know better. I was a child, or I was young and in love, or I was just in love. Or it sounded so good. And when we can forgive ourselves, we take back our power. And we take back our truth, our essence. The energy that we need to be mindful of. Virgo, June 16th to the 30th, 2021, Virgo. Virgo, June 16th to the 30th, 2021, Virgo. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading. It's the Prince of Cups. Water sign energy, Pisces, Scorpio, Cancer. It is a need here not to be led by our emotions, because it's going to be very easy for us to be emotionally charged, emotionally in the thick of it, and say, this is what I feel, this is what I feel, this is what I feel. And what the Prince of Cups is saying is like, don't let that. And especially don't let yourself be led by somebody who is just emotion-based, reactionary. They're going to drain you out. Virgo, you're represented by the Hermit. It means that you need to take time to step back. Like, every single person needs to take time to step back, to connect, to recharge, to look at things. But use more so than others. So here we have the Hermit coming in. And Spirit is saying we have to look at ourselves, our lives, our dreams, what we want, and not let ourselves get kind of swept away in hysteria, because it almost feels like hysteria here. It's somebody who's just going to be like, now, now, now. It's kind of like, buy this now, because if you don't buy it now, you won't be able to have it ever again, and you'll miss out. And it's like, well, wait, step back, like, stop yelling at me, stop being so intense, and let me see. Like, let me see. And that's what we're going to have to do during this time. Let me see. Step back. It moves us to strength. The greatest strength and the most powerful strength is not the strength of getting others to do what we want them to do, or demanding, or anything like that. That's the brute force strength that our world seems to really value. But the strength that matters is the calm, quiet strength. It's a strength that when I think of it, I think of my great-grandmother, who lived through so much and saw so much and had such a quiet strength to her. Like, unbreakable strength. You see that? I see that in my grandmother, my great-grandmother, my mother. So here, it's like calling on that strength, that power, that idea. Whether we had those role models in our lives or we've seen people who are like that. It's like, oh, that's it. That's the strength I'm calling upon. That's the power that I want to move me forward. And it's a strength that we've dreamt about. It's a strength that we desire. And here, the lion is letting her sit on him, because he could easily take her down. So it's mutual respect and cooperation and understanding and a harmony and a balance. We have to be very mindful during this time of a Leo or of somebody. It would be somebody who's very passionate, okay? Somebody who has a very big presence to them. They're just larger than life, it almost feels like, that comes in and can seem like they have all these qualities, but are really brute force strengthening it, are really kind of sitting there, and instead of saying, oh, okay, discover it, work it out, like see what's here, just nurturing this, I'm just moving this forward, or, just see what's here, I'm always going to be here type of thing. It's like, no, you have to decide now. Just little small manipulative things. We have to be mindful of that during this time. But there's great power to us in looking at the strength of compassion, the strength of understanding. Does she have a tattoo on her arm? Oh, I believe that's a Hebrew letter, but I don't know which Hebrew letter it is. I don't know if you can see it. And it moves us then to the world. It's like through strength of compassion, of honoring ourselves and our souls and what we desire and what we want and what we need, the world starts to open to us. But it's almost by rejecting the way society or the world says this is what strength is, and saying, no, this is what strength is. This quiet, calm compassion, this ability to move mountains, to move the world with our presence, our honor of self. The world starts to open to us. And we start to see the world not as this huge, scary, overwhelming place, but as this place where I can stand here. I have power here. I have presence here. And it doesn't mean that we have to carve out our space within the world. It can mean that we find a way of living that calls to us, whether it be in the middle of a city or whether it be out in the country, whether it be with a whole bunch of people or whether it be rather solitary. And we start to say, but this is where I can stand. This is how I can move forward. This is what I desire and what I need and what I long for and what I want. And then it moves us to us. We have our dreams. The staff in the Rider-Waite-Smith deck, actually it's a lantern in the Rider-Waite-Smith deck, has the star in it. We're led by our dreams, Virgo. People might actually have a tendency to say, oh, you're a dreamer. Or you wear your heart on your sleeves, you're too idealistic. It's because we're led by our dreams. If we cannot retreat into the realm of our own mind and comprehension and understanding of heart and soul and self, and see our dreams and see what we desire and see what we long for, we lose a part of us. But there is a balance that's needed. And in the poem If by Kipling, it says, if you can dream and not make dreams your master, if you can think and not make thoughts your aim, this is going to be the problem that we have. It's like, where do I embrace the dream? And where do I embrace the logic? And how do I embrace both in balance and in harmony with myself? And how do I look at things openly and honestly for me to be guided forward? And it leads us to this greater understanding that's needed. And then it brings us to judgment. It brings us to the world opening up. It brings us to this passionate power, this understanding, this coming out of darkness, this coming out of conformity, this coming out of the box. It could have been that we put ourselves in a box and said, okay, I have to be like this. I have to fit this mold. It's like, why? Why not embrace, express, redefine, explore, and become? And that's going to be so important for us. We're also hearing a call. We're hearing a call of more, of compassion, of understanding. We're hearing a call from our angels. And it's moving us to walk away from something we once thought we would love. It didn't fit. It wasn't going to fit. The Eight of Cups is something that we thought was a great idea, and then it turned out not to be. Or it's something that was perfect in its time, but that time has passed. And so it's the doorway, it's the walking away, and it's the entering into a new phase of existence, a new love, a new life, a new understanding. It could be the end of a relationship, it could be an end of a job, it could be the beginning of a new job, it could be the end of self-doubt and self-deprecation, and it leads us to courage. But it can be that we're walking away from a situation that was very overpowering for us, that tried to make us submit instead of gaining our respect. And this is a time, I'm just seeing Esme here, not to gush about Esme, who thinks you guys are doing so well. But she doesn't listen to being yelled at or, commanded about. She listens to hand signals really well, and she listens to calm and compassion. And that's what I'm seeing here, just also because she's so terribly big. There is the sense of strength through compassion, strength through love, strength through mutual respect, and power of heart. And that's going to be so important. And we're walking away from situations that didn't get that, from people who didn't get that, from ideas within ourselves that were just too harsh and too cruel. And it moves us to a celebration of our heart, our soul, ourselves, being able to say, this is what I want, this is what I need, this is what I long for, this is me. And it's also starting to be able to celebrate ourselves without feeling like, oh my gosh, I'm just being silly, or, oh, this is ridiculous. But it's celebrating ourselves, but also looking at ourselves in such a way that we know that we're not always celebrating ourselves and being one of those people, right, who's always just like, oh my gosh, I'm so great. But we're also, it's kind of like, okay, so what it is that Spirit is saying, I'm not better than anybody else. It's just that I don't believe anybody else is better than me. And that's a beautiful balance that comes into play here. A beautiful passion, a beautiful love that moves us forward. And we start to have that for ourselves as we're guided, as we become, as we express. And there's a sense of, we move forward in celebration. But then there's this disharmony, there's this discord. It's like we're celebrating ourselves, and there's this, like, instead of ringing like a pure bell, like, the singing bowl singing, there's a sense of it being tapped out, right? So here we have that bell moment, and then we have the discord of, I'm trying to juggle everything, and it doesn't fit in to the harmony that I'm seeking, the place that I'm moving towards. I'm trying to, but I can't. And it becomes overwhelming for us. It becomes unsustainable. And what we're doing here is that we need to look at our emotional self. This could be a time where connecting with the heart chakra, actually this is the time where connecting with the heart chakra is going to be intrinsically important. And we need to call forward our compassion, our love, our understanding, our hopes, our dreams, our serenity, and calm the emotions to balance the self, especially against two things. It's like we're almost heading in two different directions. And we can see that with what we juggle as we juggle our eternity. Now, this could be the spiritual and the practical sides of our personality. And we need to find the harmony, to find the basis of what we love and what we want, and where it is that we want to be, and what everybody needs from us. But we need to say, what do I need from me? And it's not being selfish and self-centered. It's saying, I need to step back and connect with who I am before I connect with what everybody else desires of me. And it leads us then to the High Priestess. In the public arena, now this can be rather upsetting. In the public arena, we see beyond the veil. beyond what people want us to see, beyond what people expect us to see. And we start to see to the heart of the matter. We start to see to the soul of things. And again, that can be upsetting. It can be overwhelming. It can be not what we wanted or anticipated. And it can also dash a lot of our illusions and delusions because it's just not true. Things just aren't what we thought they would be. And so here, as we're seeing more deeply and we're connecting more purely, that's going to be very important. It is going to be very important for us to look at this and say, there is more than meets the eye. And I'm not wrong for thinking that there is more here than what everybody else is talking about. We're going deeper. We're going deeper into our connection. Now, it can also be that as the veil is lifted from our eyes, we're not content with the mass consumerism that is our world. We want something more real, something solid, something beautiful, something that connects and binds us and leads us forward in a beautiful way, in a brilliant way, in a powerful way. And it brings us then to the Chariot. It brings us to an understanding of our subconscious and our conscious self, an alignment of the two through meditation, through walking, through clearing the mind and connecting the soul. And it brings us to this place where we start charging forward towards what we love, towards what we want, knowing that there's majesty and royalty here, because only those who are highly trained and highly powerful commanded the chariots into battle. And so it's knowing that in the public arena, as we're seeing things differently, as we're embracing ourselves differently, and I think it's very interesting, she's holding the lobster here, which is usually what's in the moon card, right? The lobster coming out of the water, the fear coming out, the ability to stand tall in amongst the fear and the doubt and the despair. And so here, it's a sense of I'm blessing the fear. So the high priestess is soothing away the fear that is within us and saying that the price of facing the fear is seeing more deeply than the surface value, than everybody else seems to see and seems to call upon. And it's really embracing a deeper side of ourselves to move forward towards our truth and to move forward in our tenacity and in our greater understanding in what we desire, want, need, hope for, long for, and wish upon ourselves. It brings us then to our subconscious chakra message, which is inner child, the heart chakra again. This is a connection with our inner child. This is a time where if we do the visualization exercise of just kneeling down and opening up our arms and having the child that we once were run into the arms of the adult we are today and being held and cared for and nourished by that child and by that adult, by the adult that we are, saying, I see you, I love you, I hear you, and I will always hear you. I will always be there for you. Every time, even if you do this multiple times, I do this multiple times for myself. Because sometimes, childhood is hard. You're small and everything is new and everything has such an impact. And yes, children are resilient, but all the scars and terrible coping mechanisms that we have stem from our childhood. So childhood is astoundingly important. And being able to connect with who we once were, that has gone into such a powerful way of making us who we are today, is important. But there's also a sense of forgiving that child. We could have done something, said something, not been enough in some way or another. And it wasn't our fault. Sometimes when I visualize the inner child, I forgive myself for being a little bit blind and a little bit deaf. And that wasn't my fault at all. And it might sound silly to have to forgive the child that you once were. But when I was little, I just thought there was something so terribly defective about me that made me so different. And so no matter how silly it sounds, no matter if it's something big or it's something small, like when my mom made me return the buttons that I took from the craft bin in kindergarten, it could be something small or something big. But that forgiveness, that's important. That's what heals. Our subconscious energy to be mindful of is Cernunnos. And we see that with the strength to walk away. Cernunnos is the devil card. Okay? Cernunnos is different though. He's the god of chaos. So this is Capricorn energy, yes. But it's the sense of saying chaos comes. Chaos comes of passion. Chaos comes of no passion. Chaos comes from existing. And it's understanding that chaos does not care. It does not care about the outcome. It does not care about the event. It just simply cares that it is. And being mindful of that chaos, because we're going to be drawn to it. Why? It'll make us feel alive. It'll pull us forward. There's a sense of adventure there. It moves us to our subconscious rooted message, which is the Princess of Wands. This time, at least not another major arcana, but it's the court card. Our root, what is pulling us in, what's moving us forward, is astoundingly strong. Here, the Princess of Wands is moving us towards passion, towards what we desire, want, need, having us look at things, study, open up our eyes in a way that we hadn't expected. And it's different than we imagined, but no less poignant. It moves us to our subconscious inner self, which is the Ten of Cups. This is joyfulness. This is love. This is, and they all live happily ever after. Joy, success. It's like an ending brings a beautiful new beginning. It brings a sense of beauty and compassion and understanding and power. It guides us in a way that we hadn't expected, but in a way that we need. And this is saying, but this is my happiness. And it doesn't mean that anybody else has to understand. The only thing that it has to be is that we understand ourselves. It brings us then to our subconscious heart message, emotional message, which is the Eight of Cups, of walking away from what we once thought we would love. Because we have this in the conscious realm of our inner self and the subconscious realm of our emotional self. This walking away is going to be painful. It's going to be intense. It's going to require a conviction that we might not know that we needed. But it's going to be leading towards something more. It's like this segment of my life, this chapter, it's done. Now I need to move forward towards what is right for me, what is in line with me. And it brings us then to our subconscious public arena, which is the Ace of Cups. God, Source, Spirit, however you see the divine, the universe, is handing us a gift of healing, beautiful love. And we move forward in that energy. That energy calls up emotional vulnerability. It's actually the High Priestess calling this forward within us. This healing, this love, this acceptance, this understanding, this seeing things differently. It makes us emotionally vulnerable, but it also makes us emotionally astoundingly powerful to be able to walk forward in a way that we hadn't imagined. And to be able to cleanse away so much hurt, so much pain, so much disappointment, that it's the difference between having open wounds and having scars. And that's what the Ace of Cups is doing for us. It's healing our wounds. And it's making us just a bit stronger in the most beautiful and profound of ways. All right, Virgo. I hope this reading has resonated with you. I wish you nothing but light, love, peace, and happiness. May harmony always be with you. I'm sending loving, healing energy to each and every one of you. I love you all, and stay safe. Let's end this reading with a meditation, a clearing away of negative energy, a raising of our positive energy as we embrace our path forward, as we follow our dreams and the profound desires of our hearts. So take a nice deep breath in, exhaling whenever it feels comfortable for you. May you move forward in peace and in harmony, Virgo.